What is going on, everybody? This is SSG, aka Sergeant Sentinel, and thank you so much for joining me for today's live stream. I do greatly appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, definitely take this opportunity to do so. If you enjoyed this live stream, hit that like button. Also, if you have something to say, definitely let me know in the chat. I do greatly appreciate it, and I try to respond to as much as I can. And last but not least, if you could, please share this out on social media. I do greatly appreciate it. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. Now, first things first. Trevor is one nasty, unwashed trailer park motherfucker, so let's get him a haircut and some new threads. What's up, Multiplays? Thanks for checking out the live stream. I do greatly appreciate it. So I know it's part of Trevor's charm, like they would say, but unfortunately, him running around in dirty jeans and a t-shirt just doesn't work. Apologize, speaker's going off. Forgot to mute my speaker, I apologize. Let me see. Yeah, so, and something that kind of irks me about GTA 5 is even if you get Trevor looking nice and respectable, and he's wearing better clothes, when you switch to another character and you come back to him, he ends up looking disheveled and horrible again, and it's kind of aggravating, but I guess they do that to show what type of character Trevor is, and that's cool. Yeah, I think if Trevor was standing in front of me, I'd probably smell vomit and baby shit, because that's kind of what he looks like he would smell like.
You're crazy!
Yeah, I got skills. I don't think Trevor could take revenge on me. I'd kick his ass. I think Trevor would beat Michael, you know, if they had to get into a fist fight. I guess it's a good friendship, but it always seems like Michael has an ulterior motive, you know? I'm not one to really agree with Trevor too much, but it does seem like Michael is always underhanded, and I think Trevor calling him out on that shit is pretty spot on.
Take as long as you like.
Actually, I think I'm going to go to the hipster store and I'm going to find Trevor some more down-to-earth clothes because I don't know that a suit is necessarily, you know, his taste. Thanks for stopping by, Multiplays. I appreciate it. See you later, buddy. I definitely wish they would have let Trevor actually deal drugs rather than just say, oh, he's a meth dealer, that's his backstory, but they don't let him deal drugs. It would have been such a great earning opportunity. Take it easy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I gotta go to the haircut place downtown because these have the same types of styles as the place out in the sticks that he went to first. What's up, Poison Maniac? Yeah, I just decided to live stream. It's a slow day today, so figured I had some time. Might as well, right? So let me see. Yeah, I'm looking for the haircut place that's basically in Beverly Hills. I just have to find it. I don't remember off the top of my head which street it's on exactly. Let me see. Good look. I know it's closer to Michael's house. You know, Rockstar Games laid some really good bones with GTA 5. Really laid the groundwork what could have been phenomenal, single player DLCs like how we got the Ballad of the Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned. Those were great DLCs, and it sounds like Rockstar Games actually had some great DLCs planned for this map as well. Unfortunately, because they're greedy fucking bastards, they decided to can it, and I think that pissed off a lot of people. So hopefully they don't do that with GTA 6 for any single player DLC they might have planned. And I know some people are like, well, they have single player content for GTA Online, and I'm like, that shit doesn't count. That's not single player DLC. It's not the same shit. That's kind of like we have single player DLC at home kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Have some fun. Looking good. I love making people totes amaze.
I think the only way Trevor could look good is if he put if he put a bag over his head. I'm not too bad, I guess. Maniac, how are you doing today?
Bye-bye, beautiful.
That's good to hear. I know it's Friday, so everyone kind of, they're happy for the weekend, but I mean, obviously, with real world events going on, it's kind of putting a damper on everything, so to speak. Yeah, I told myself I would pretty much stop commenting on political shit on Twitter, just because I know some people are very, it's like if you think about like left, right, middle, some people are definitely very opposed to the type of stuff I support. And it's like even for me being in the middle, so I said, you know what, I'm just not going to put that shit on Twitter anymore. Just because there's some people that I know and respect that I actually enjoy their content, and they enjoy mine. I'm like, I don't want to, it's like politics fucks all that shit up. So I don't want to mess up that relationship by constantly commenting on it, because with it being an election year, it's nothing but a fucking, it's a mess,
That asshole just robbed me.
Not those bikers again.
You gotta stop that guy. He jacked all my money.
Buddy, that's why you should carry a concealed carry. Then they wouldn't steal your fucking money, you dumbass.
It's not my fault. The guy had a gun. What was I supposed to do?
I'll be here if you really need me. hope you don't regret it.
There you go. Now Trevor doesn't look like a child molester living in a trailer park, and he instead looks like a CIA assassin looking to kill political dissidents.
Look at my eyes, nigga. You think I'm fucking with you old bitch-ass niggas? Nigga, the only thing you fucking with is too much X, nigga. Now get the fuck on. Y'all niggas some bitches.
See, it's like at least Franklin isn't dressed like a fucking slop, you know? It's like, I wear the type of shit he wears, so I'm like, I completely get wearing that shit just to be comfortable, but Trevor, it's like, you find him in a dress, you find him in his fucking underwear. It's like, what the hell, Trevor? You know, at least with Franklin, it makes sense because it's like his day off. Again, I wear the same shit, so I'm like, I completely understand. With Michael, though, I mean, his dress is a little on the hipster side, even though he makes fun of Trevor for being a hipster. He kind of wears stuff that could be perceived as being a little hipsterish, so kind of like, damn, and then he makes Lamar walk, doesn't even give him a ride. That's so fucked up. I kind of feel like Franklin should have been the main character of GTA 5. You know, if they were going to go with one character, I would say it should have been Franklin's story, you know, because it seems like he has, it kind of seems like he is the main character of GTA 5, but it's just that, you know, they're like, oh, let's have three characters. So you have the lovers' quarrel between Trevor and Michael, and then, you know, of course, Franklin is the, again, it just feels like Franklin is more the main than Trevor or Michael, you know? It just feels like he's more the main character. And, I mean, if they were going to go with a single main character, I think they definitely should have gone with him. It just feels more natural for the way the game is, you know? As far as you're starting at the bottom, you don't got much and you got to work your way up. That's it, just my opinion on it, you know? Now, I know the Lester mission just popped up, and because it's the carport assassination, I really need... Damn, how much money does he have? Yeah, he's got enough. I really need to make sure that he invests in a sniper rifle with a silencer and a scope before he does that, because I have a number of times gone to do this mission, and I forgot to have the proper equipment before I went there, and of course it causes tons of issues. Alright, so I know the gun shop is on the street. It's past Franklin's former boss. I don't remember the guy's name. Where the fuck is the gun store? Oh, I see, it's on the other side of it. I knew it was close to it, I just couldn't remember which side it was on, left or right. Yeah, I think they were just trying something new, having three characters. And I mean, it's alright, but like half the time I would go to Trevor, he's either in a dress, drunk on the top of a mountain, or he's getting chased by police, and it's like, damn, don't put me in that predicament right from the start. You know? I don't think this has a silencer. Even in real life, they make silencers for these.
No, of course not. I mean,
Alright, yep. This, the suppressor, advanced scope. I don't buy any of that fancy shit, though. Let me see. He does have an M4 already, good. Let me see if he has an SMG. Yeah, he does. He's already equipped. So I already bought him most of this shit. Alright, let me see if I can buy a parachute. Nope, not yet.
Enjoy, my friend.
Yep, or he's throwing one of the biker guys off of the bridge. I thought the feud with the bikers was pretty cool, but I thought it should have really leaned into... you remember how they had the gang wars in the Lost and Damned, where you'd have to go to gang strongholds and clear it out with Johnny Klebitz? It felt like they should have done that with Trevor, you know, and then like with the Midnight Club thing with Franklin, they should have leaned more into, like, really into his ability to, like, mod his car and tons more races. It just feels like the content you got in GTA 5 where they're like, oh, it's a nod to this franchise or a nod to that franchise. It just felt very bare bones, you know? And it's like they wanted to devote more time to this, but then they just couldn't because they didn't have enough time or whatever it was. And it's like, Rockstar, don't do that, man. It's like everybody views you as the best in the fucking world. So come into this shit like John Cena did back in the day with that fucking strap on his shoulder. Show everyone you the champ. You know, it's like, don't come in half-assed and, you know, get pinned like 4 minutes from a mid-card wrestler. Don't do that shit. You know, it's like, come in and show yourself as the champ. And I feel like, you know, it's like if you're a GTA Online player, they absolutely did right by you because they came out with so much goddamn content for GTA Online. Yeah, and exactly right. You know, the single-player story felt underwhelming. And it wasn't that they weren't capable of delivering. It's that, again, they were planning on fleshing it out with that single-player DLC, and they just never did because, you know, all the executives on the board basically saw that these rich kids were using their mommy and daddy's credit cards to buy fucking shark cards. And they said, why actually make single-player content? Well, we can just pump out tons of online content. And, of course, it inspired them to fucking jerk each other off over that shit. And the result was that we did not get any single-player DLC. They had like, I believe it was 13 was the number thrown out there. 13 in development, with some of them almost completely finished. They canceled every single one of them. Some of them got repurposed into online content, and it's like, don't do that shit. You know, it's like, as great as online was, it's like, for the online players, it's like, I don't give a shit about that. You know, I don't give a shit about that. So it's like, balance what people want. You know, balance single player, balance multiplayer. And I would never say, hey, you know what, cut the multiplayer or online component out altogether. Don't do that shit, because the people that enjoy multiplayer and online, they don't deserve that, you know? Include them as well. But it's like, don't make us choose between one or the other. Do both, because you can do both. I mean, for Christ's sake, they made, $8 billion, over $8 billion on this. So it's not like they had a funding problem and people, oh, well, they only have so many developers. You know what you do with money? You hire more developers. You can open a new studio. And the thing about Rockstar Games is people could be mad as a motherfucker at Rockstar Games. But if they said, hey, here's a single-player DLC, you know, $19.99, boom, and it's 6 hours, people would be like, fuck yeah. Or hey, it's $29.99 because our prices have gone up. People would still be like, fuck yeah, I'll buy it. Or if they said, hey, we have 3 DLCs, they're bundled together, you know, $59.99 or $69.99. But they're standalones, you know, you can buy it digitally, or you can buy this disc standalone. People would have bought it, they would have sold millions of copies of that shit. They would have made 10 times whatever the investment cost. But, again, unfortunately, they care more about snorting lines of cocaine off of hookers than, you know, supporting the single-player community by reinvesting. So, it happens. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Hopefully with GTA 6, they really do right by the single-player community. I pray to God that they don't go the EA route with Battlefield 2042 and say, fuck you to the single players and say, oh, it's multiplayer only. You know, because it's like, with Battlefield, I was a big Battlefield guy back in the day. I fucking loved Battlefield. I maxed out my rank on Battlefield 4, 140 on both PlayStation and Xbox. You know, but I don't know how many times, and it's like, it's understandable that I played multiplayer so much more on Battlefield than I did on, the campaign, but I've still completed the campaign on both Xbox and PlayStation like 30 times. So it's like, give me my fucking money's worth and respect both sides. And Rockstar Games didn't do that. And that's why people are pissed. Now, again, with Grand Theft Auto 6, a lot of people are willing to, forget that. But it's like, don't do some shady shit like, oh, it's single or it's multiplayer only, it's GTA Online, all of it is. Because I think that'll piss people the fuck off. Hopefully, they have more respect going forward and they balance it. Fingers crossed, but who knows, right? I mean, they could just go fully into their villain arc and say, fuck everybody, we're going to do what we want, and you'll buy it anyway. Hopefully not, but it is a possibility. One of the biggest issues with Rockstar Games is kind of that they, rather than keeping multiple franchises, they decided to instead focus on one or two. Now, obviously, Grand Theft Auto being the bigger of those two franchises, Red Dead being the lesser of the two franchises, not lesser in terms of quality or how fun it is, but lesser in terms of how much they invest into it. You get what I'm saying. And for those gamers that didn't necessarily play on PS1, PS2, PS3, especially the new ones, young ones that are playing like PS4 as their first console or some shit, they're not going to know that Rockstar had a lot of IPs back in the day, And yes, The Warriors was tied to a movie, but again, they did make a game on it, and it was pretty good. So aside from Warriors, they had, I think Max Payne is owned by Remedy, though, I'm pretty sure. But they had Max Payne back in the day. Of course, they had Midnight Club. They had Smuggler's Run. And there were probably a couple others that I'm forgetting. But they had enough to really differentiate. And they just don't do that anymore. And that sucks. It sucks because it's like, there's still room. Like Manhunt's another one. There's still room for those types of games. But it's like, if Rockstar doesn't care to invest, they're never gonna be able to sell games in those categories because they're not investing in them, It just sucks. Yeah, and Battlefield 2042, they fucked it up. Hopefully they've learned from it. I really hope they've learned. I don't like to see video game companies go down. I really don't. I think it sucks when video game companies crash, when they go down, when people are laid off, all of that shit. Now, there's some instances where, some people that are basically political activists and they hate gaming and they hate males, when they lose their jobs, I'm not really going to cry about it because they're shitty people and they deserve what they get. But for the most part, when people lose their jobs, I hate it. So it's kind of like, I want them to be able to make good games. I don't want them to have to lose their jobs, but again, it depends on the type of person, I guess, Shit, I'm trying to see where the best vantage point is. Maybe here. I think I would normally climb on here. Let's see. Alright. I'll keep an eye out. Let's see where this guy is. I mess this up sometimes, so really trying to focus. I know it says he's checking out in just a few seconds. Let's see where he is.
Keep your eye out for anything unusual. Let's see if we can get through one day without some wannabe hippie waving an anti-globalization sign in my face.
Damn it, I couldn't see him from my vantage point. Well, plan B, which is hell of a lot messier. That's fine, I got it though. Looking for the ramp. Alright. Okay, let's do it. No, you know what? I actually think I'm going to, because I don't remember if you're supposed to invest before or after. I think I'm going to let this guy get away. And then I'll just go back and revisit this mission later. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I forgot to invest the money. Uh-huh, that's fine. Yeah, I'll handle that. I'll handle the investment shit later. I'll focus more on the story missions right now. So I see Michael has one. Let me go tackle that. Well, a lot of these development studios want to try stuff like that because they don't want to have to put in the work to establish a franchise. You know, they don't want to have to put in the work to build a franchise essentially from the ground up and then, you know, turn it into a hero shooter or whatever. They want to take something that's already established because it's a lot easier, you know. And it sucks that some studios will do that. They'll take something that was established as one thing and they'll turn it into something else. Now, there's some times when that actually works. You know, you look at Halo Wars, Gears Tactics, stuff like that. Changing it from what it was, as long as it's like a spin-off title or a spin-off series, can work. But if you're trying to change something, the dynamic of what a franchise is into something it's not always going to be met with success. You know, there's some games like the new God of War games. They transitioned from not being third person over the shoulder, they were very much hack and slash, to transitioning to third person over the shoulder, and it did work, but again, it's definitely case by case, I guess. You know? Yeah, it just seems like with a lot of these big studios, the problem is the PS2 generation got them established. The PS3 generation made them truly successful. The PS4 generation kept some of that money coming in. And then, of course,
it's thrift store anyway.
Where's this dude robbing this lady?
Sorry about that. Don't make this any worse than it already.
Yep. All right. Lady, I got your wallet. Shit, what you doing? Never mind, I guess. Yeah, and then with like the current generation, they just kind of crap all over everybody because they're established, and the people that essentially built these franchises aren't necessarily working there anymore, or they're in advisory roles where they're not advising, it seems. And so you have a lot of celebrated franchises that are just getting torn down. And that really sucks. Because it's like, these franchises were successful, and now you have people running them that are idiots. Or you have these companies like Electronic Arts or Ubisoft where you have executives making decisions that they shouldn't make. You know, I watched, and this is just stick with me, this is related, but I watched a podcast recently where someone asked Eric Bischoff when he knew WCW was going to lose, right? And keep in mind, up until... What's up, Troy? How you doing? Fucking California drivers, I swear to God. And then I'm pinned up against the median. Yeah, so the moment that Eric Bischoff said he knew that WCW was doomed wasn't the finger poke of doom. It's when he had to go in this boardroom. And there are like 20 different suits in there, all telling him stuff that they want him to do with his brand. And it's like, stop. You know, like he said, what we did worked up to this point, and now I got all these people that I've never met before trying to tell me how to do my job. And he said, after I left that meeting, you know, I was like, he's like, I went home, and I was going to submit my resignation, because he's like, I knew right then that WCW was going to go down. That's what we're seeing in the gaming community. You know, you see people like Dan Houser, basically get forced out of Rockstar Games, and Grand Theft Auto 5 basically stood on the shoulders of giants. The giants being Dan Houser, Leslie Benzies, Laszlo Jones. It stood on the shoulders of giants that came before, and it's like Grand Theft Auto 5 never would have been a thing if it wasn't for Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, episodes of Liberty City, Vice City Stories, Liberty City Stories, Bully, Manhunt, Max Payne, The Warriors, Midnight Club, all of that shit that came before basically gave Grand Theft Auto 5 the ability to exist. And you have people running shit now that don't understand that, they don't respect its legacy, and that's the problem we're seeing not just in Rockstar Games, but you're seeing it in EA, you're seeing it in Ubisoft, you're seeing it Activision Blizzard. Almost every major video game publisher out there does not respect their legacy, and they have people making decisions that don't give a shit about gamers. They want all the money in your wallet, and they want you to go get a loan in your fucking house so you can give them all that money. That's all they want. They don't give a shit whether you're happy. Now, we are seeing a lot of gamers push back. They're just refusing to buy games that they don't like, they don't agree with. You have basically these outlets, please buy these games, go out, support these developers. And it's like, why? They suck. It's kind of like you need these studios to be in dire straits before they start making good decisions. Only when you kick these studios in their wallet are they going to learn. And that's because the stock price is plummeting. And we're seeing that right now with Ubisoft. You know, and I hope that Ubisoft course corrects. Will they? I don't know. I think they're going to lose a lot of money, go private. Hell, they may get sold off to someone like Tencent. Who fucking knows? I don't know. But what I do know is that that's essentially the only way to fix a situation like this, is to allow these publishers and these development studios to fail and to lose millions, to fire tons of people. You know, yes, the yoga mission. That's basically the only way they're going to learn from this, is if they fail. Because if they don't fail, and you buy the games, they're going to think, hey, what we're doing is working, even though it's not. Because you're like, I just want to show support for them and buy their games, but I'm gonna give them a harsh criticism online. They're not gonna read that shit. Or if you're standing against them, they're gonna be like, oh, it's just you know, they're gonna give you a negative label, and I'm not gonna talk about those negative labels during this live stream, but I'm sure you've read them. Any valid criticism, a lot of these studios, they're like, I just don't want to hear it. And it's like, fuck you. It's like, you should be listening. Because it's like, if I ran a burger joint and someone came in and said, hey man, these fucking burgers suck, I wouldn't be like, fuck you, you know, you're a piece of shit. You have this political affiliation, so that's why you're saying my burgers suck. No, I would say, damn, that sucks, you know, to hear. Tell me what's wrong with the burgers. What did you not like about them? That's what I would do as a business owner. And these development studios need to say, rather than, oh, they're just hating because they're males or this or that, they need to say, okay, tell us what you didn't like about our game. Tell us what pissed you off and what types of games you're really looking for. It's like, if you want to sell someone a $60 or $70 game, it's like, ask them, you know, ask them for feedback, ask them what they like, pay attention to what they like, engage positively with the community, and for fuck's sake, don't piss off 90% of your fan base. Don't call them shit. You know? Yeah, that's exactly right. You have to hurt them financially, and everyone's like, oh, it's unfortunate they're losing their jobs. And I'm like, if people are negatively affecting something, and they suck at their jobs, and they choose to either focus on money first or politics first, you need them to lose their jobs. You need them to go touch some grass and get some real world experience, so either they can pull their head out of their ass, number one, or number two, move on, so people who are better at this can come in and actually make games that people like. You know something funny, right? Yeah, don't insult your customers. It doesn't pan out well. You're exactly right, Maniac. one of the biggest things that I thought was funny, some of these gaming journalist sites were criticizing RoboCop Rogue City because it did not, basically it wasn't adapted for modern audiences. It embraced the feel of the first two RoboCop games. And it's like, fuck you and fuck modern audiences. Fuck that bullshit. It's like, you know why RoboCop Rogue City was great? Because it didn't embrace that shit. Because it embraced the late 80s and early 90s that RoboCop basically was... It was so much rooted in pop culture, I guess. And like the way we saw the future at the time, without making necessary nods to it, it established itself using the mentality that we had in the 90s. And again, leaning into that is why it succeeded, because most of us that enjoy that type of content, we've been gamers for years. You know, and we've seen the gaming world descend from common sense into absolute madness. You know, now there are some franchises that have stayed away from this approach, but it's few and far between. No, I know, I don't think there's anything wrong with RoboCop, but they were basically like, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I know there were some that were complaining about it. There were people in the comments, oh, cops shouldn't be seen as bad guys. And it's like, fuck you. It's like, fuck you, seriously. You know, it's like, this isn't one of your 2020 fucking political movements, so you need to chill the fuck out. It's like, this is based on a political property, or I mean, a non-political property from the 1990s, and yes, it's talking about corporations taking over governments and stuff, but it's not based on 2020 politics, and it's a long-standing thing where, you know, hey, it's, you know, corporations are bad and all this. I think everybody can agree on that. Well, we used to agree on that. Now certain people support corporations because corporations tell them, hey, you know what, you have to support us because if you don't, then you're A, B, or C. And they're like, oh yeah, we support you. And it's like, stop with that shit. You know, it's like, stop supporting these corporations in real life. But it's like, also, it's a criticism on corporate America, sure, you know, but it's not criticizing necessarily one party or the other. But the people nowadays wanted it to criticize one party or the other, or say, oh, the cops in RoboCop are bad, or this or that, or inject their modern day politics, and it's like, stop. The reason why it's great is because it didn't. You know, so many of us are tired of that shit. You know, you look at Anita Sarkeesian. This is a great example. Anita Sarkeesian is actually not a gamer. Now, she's admitted this numerous times. She came into gaming with a political agenda. She didn't like gaming. She said this before in front of crowds. She's not a gamer. She doesn't really know games. She actually had to research so she could come in and say, hey, I'm a gamer. But she doesn't like video games. She just came in with a certain purpose to attack a certain group of gamers, basically the majority of gamers. And a lot of people don't know that, and you have a lot of people that, it's like, gaming journalism won't really talk about her being a fraud. They won't talk about her being a phony. They will publicize stuff to support a certain narrative, and proof that comes out, they will not talk about it, or it will get covered briefly, but it'll get immediately pushed to the back for non-political stories so that they can bury it. Now, obviously, you see this in real-world politics. That's why tons of people believe a lot of the bullshit that's out there, even though there's proof that it's bullshit. They still believe it because the system churns it out. You see this in gaming journalism because if you don't support their way of thinking, they don't like you. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the gaming journalism nowadays does not like the majority of us that are gamers. They don't. And you have Anita Sarkeesian that is basically the same train of thought. She came in to undermine the entire gaming community, to say, hey, you know what, they're like this or they're like that. Why do we have so many scantily clad women in gaming and all this other shit? And it's like, Jesus, I can't wait until you decide to go after a burger place. Oh, why are their burgers tasting so good? Their burgers need to be thin and crappy like they got dropped on the floor. Bitch, are you serious? It's like, if you don't like gaming, go the fuck elsewhere. You know, it's like, are you gonna go, it's like Anita Sarkeesian. are you going to go after all these OnlyFan creators, all these females who show tons of skin and are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month? Are you going to go after them and say, stop being scantily clad? No, of course you're not. Because they're not males. Because ultimately Anita Sarkeesian is sexist. And there are a lot of people in the gaming community that actually support sexism against males. There's some that don't, but there are a lot that are. And that's kind of the elephant in the room that a lot of people are scared to talk about. They just don't want to admit it, you know? And it's not like I go out and I say, hey, you know what, I'm going to look for this shit. But I mean, it's just calling a spade at this point. You know, because how many games have we seen where you got a guy who's super muscled up, who's barely wearing anything? You think guys are going to say anything about that? Fuck no. They're going to be like, damn, that dude is jacked. I need to look like that guy. They're not saying, oh my god, females, you know, are objectifying males. They don't give a shit. They're like, damn, that dude is stacked. You know, looks like he working out 4 hours a day. You know, damn, look at his lats. I know a guy from the gym, you know, where I work out. Got lats like that. They're not like that because they're not looking for that stuff. And to be honest, most female gamers are not like that either. You know, they're not like Anita Sarkeesian. They're actually chill, just like the guys. But again, it's people getting involved with the gaming community that don't like gamers. They hate gamers. And, you know, getting these studios canceled by not buying their games, getting the developers laid off, that's the fastest way to solve this kind of epidemic. You know? And it sucks, again, for those of you that know me, I'm a chill motherfucker. I never go on a warpath. I never go out of my way to start shit with people. I just don't. I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm very calm and reserved. And I definitely think a lot more than I speak. So believe me when I tell you this is something that's not a spur of the moment type of thing. It's something that many of us have been thinking about. Some of us talk about it, others don't, because they're like, oh, you're this or you're that. And it's like, no, it's like, call it what it is. It's like if someone hates, it's like if someone hates barbecue, why the fuck are you going to go review barbecue at a barbecue joint that has great barbecue? Why? It makes no sense. It's like if you don't like barbecue, just say, hey, you know what? I'm not a fan of barbecue, so I'm going to pass. Try it if you want, but don't criticize it if you don't like barbecue. Same thing for being a game reviewer. If you hate video games or if you hate gamers, it's like, you know, coming in that the gaming community has a certain demographic. You know, probably like 70% guys. You know this. Why are you coming in here and vilifying guys? It's like, we're consumers, essentially. We buy what we like, and if we don't like something, we're not going to buy it. Don't say you have to buy this or else. It's not mandatory. I mean, it's like if you give me money for something and you're like, here you go buy this. You know, and if you want to keep it, you can. If you don't want to keep it, you don't have to. Maybe then I'll try out some of this, out some of these games, some of this shit. But it's like, don't expect me to spend my hard-earned money on stuff that I don't want to buy, especially when you're coming at me, you know, not specifically, but you're coming at people that look like me, or you're coming at just males in general, or you're coming at just the gaming community and rebuking us and calling us all this fake bullshit. It's like, don't do that, you know, and people wonder why the gaming community hates game journalists and why you're having so many channels, so many YouTube channels that focus on content creation and independent game journalism really take off. You know, I always try to check out independent game journalists. You got people that basically aren't part of any huge affiliated group. They're not part of Kotaku or IGN or any of that shit. And they're out there, you know, they're researching the games and they're putting together articles or they're doing YouTube videos and they're really putting in the work. I appreciate that, and I think everyone should really focus on those people a lot more than the major publications, especially when the major publications are very condescending. You know, some people might like check out, you know, Game Informer or Game Rant or, you know, Eurogamer. It's like, and they believe that these companies, that these gaming journalist sites give a shit about them. They don't. They don't care about you at all. They want you to check out their site. They could wipe their ass with what you think. They just want you to consume, to read their stuff, they don't give a shit about you personally. But you'll have an independent content creator that will take the time to read comments. They'll take the time to engage with their community. They give a shit what their community says. So it's like, if you're watching this live stream, obviously thank you very much. I do greatly appreciate it. I'm an independent live streamer and content creator. You watch my content. I try to interact with you as much as I can. You'll have some guys that are even big content creators. You comment on their stuff. You'll be surprised because they'll comment back and they'll be like, hey, what's going on? Thanks for checking out my video. You know, you brought up some good points. They do that. And it's like, find people like that. Find people that are independent, that cover this type of stuff, that live stream games, that contribute positively to the gaming community. Get away from the established, you know, gaming journalist websites. Yeah, good example, Lollipop Chainsaw. None of the big journal sites want to cover it because, you know, because let's be honest, the protagonist, you know, she's a cheerleader in a short skirt, and they're like, no. But I bet if she was a fat ass bitch, they'd be covering her. I bet money, you know. Or if it was a guy dressed in a fucking skirt, I guarantee they'd be covering it. No, of course not. They don't want to cover it because it's a female that's a cheerleader that is athletically built and is wearing a short skirt, and they're like, that's misogynistic. And it's like, first of all, it's like, stop overusing that term. Seriously, stop overusing that term. Because that might apply to 5% of the people that you think it does. Second of all, it's like, your organizations are very sexist. You know, you're not only sexist against males, but you're also sexist against attractive females. And it's hypocrisy at its finest is what it is. It's just complete bullshit. And, you know the saying, you don't hate them enough. I don't think we hate gaming journalist sites enough. Not yet, anyway. And to see some of them go down the toilet, it sucks because of what they once were, but it's great because they deserve it now in 2024. So again, yep, feminine females, I hate them. Support these studios that come out with this content that is not politically correct, that has feminine females, that has strong males not afraid to be males, that has the action that you're looking for, that really leans into games that are fun, that support the gaming community, support those studios, support those developers, the people that speak out for you, that support you, that care about what you think. Support them back. You know, a lot of us say, hey, you know what, the gaming industry is in a hell of a mess right now. Yeah, that's exactly true, but there is a way forward, you know, these little steps. And a single person might say, hey, you know what, I don't matter that much. But if you see one person by themselves voicing their opinion or standing up to the bigger power or any of this other shit, you're going to have guy number 2. Yeah, inclusive culture, my ass, it's all a bunch of bullshit. You're going to have guy number 2 say, hey, you know what? That guy's, you know, I agree with what he's saying. He's exactly right. And guy number 2 will join guy number 1 and say, hey, I feel the same way. And you're going to see two people by themselves at first, but then they're going to be supported by 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 more. And they're all going to come together and they're going to be like, this is how I feel. Thank you so much for voicing this. You know, it starts small. But all it takes is that one person to take that first step, and other people see that. And other people who are all thinking the same thing are going to go forward, and they're going to join them, and they're going to be like, I feel the same way. Let's support this cause. Let's support the good guys. Let's put the bad guys out of business. You know?
Michael, I think you finally
yeah, it's just,
lost your mind.
You know, Maniac, you brought up a good point. Gaming is a place where people escape reality. They're not looking to be reminded of it. And that's exactly right, you know? Gaming, for many of us, especially adults, we gotta go to work. We have families and responsibilities. We have real world stresses. We turn on the news and most of it's political bullshit. And it's like never stopping. And it's like, gaming should be a release from that, not an amplification of it. The last thing we want to be reminded about all the time is the real world shit going on. You know? Yeah, no, I get it. For the average, I can't be canceled. I'm not important enough. You're important, brother, but I get what you're saying. You're not necessarily a big time content creator, which is, that's cool. That means you're not on their radar yet. Yeah, it's best not to be a dick, if you can avoid it. Sometimes I'll have people come at me in a tweet, in the comments, and they'll be a dickhead. Like, I have some followers, very few followers, that they, the only time they comment on my tweets are when they're being super negative, antagonistic, being very condescending. And I've called them on it before, and some of them have said, hey, man, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Other ones are like, oh, this and that, and they keep on with their antagonistic ways, and it's like, motherfucker, I don't need you to follow me if you're going to be, coming at me like that all crazy or always negative. It's like, I don't need that shit. It's like, I'll be the first to tell you, I appreciate every single person that follows me. No matter how big or small their account is, I appreciate it. I really do. And I love engaging with people on social media. I love engaging with people in live streams and replying to comments under my review videos. I really enjoy that. But if someone's being negative, I'm going to cut them out. I'm just going to cut them out, and I'm going to leave them by the wayside, so to speak. I'm not going to have them be a part of any type of community I'm trying to be a part of. I'm just not. And again, it's nothing personal against them. It's just how it is. Give me just a second. I have to look into something. Alright, let me see. I think I'm actually going to go tackle the Tanya mission right now. Oh, why are you way up in the hills, Franklin? What the fuck are you doing? You don't even have the house yet. And he's riding his motorcycle. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Such bullshit. Fuck it. Alright, whatever. I don't think Franklin rides well enough yet to not be sliding all over the place in the rain. I guess we're going to find out. I was hoping he was closer to his house because he hasn't gotten the house from Lester yet for basically, Lester bought him the house. You guys, Lester bought him the house kind of to spread out the funds that they were getting in, and they need someone to live in it to look legitimate. He doesn't have that house up here yet. He still lives, down in South Central, so to speak. So I gotta ride my motorcycle all the way from up in the hills while it's raining down to the streets of Los Santos. The one thing I miss about San Andreas as opposed to how it's portrayed here is like San Andreas was always hopping and popping all the time. It seems like with San Andreas, the city just seemed more alive. And with GTA 5's version, it's kind of like it's not. I mean, I'm sure there's more foot traffic or, car traffic. It just seems like there's not much to do in the city, Hopefully, with Grand Theft Auto 6 being in Vice City, hopefully there's tons of shit to do. Now, I did see that they had what looked like backyard wrestling. God, I hope they flesh that out. And what I mean by that is that you have tons of backyard wrestling events you can go to. They got tag team matches. They got, they have a backyard wrestling league. I hope they have all of that shit. Really flesh it out. Really put like 20 hours of content into the backyard wrestling alone. That's what I fucking want. And none of that GTA. Oh, it's GTA Online. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm talking single player. If I want to go as Jason or Lucia and they want to be like a backyard, intergender tag team, they can take on like 30 or 40 other teams and beat the hell out of them and slam them through tables and shit. That's what I want. Who knows if that'll happen, but that's kind of what I want. When I saw that, I actually got a little excited, because I'm an old school wrestling fan. I actually remember ECW, so it would be cool to see some of that, but with Rockstar Games the way they are now, I doubt it. Who knows, though? Let me see. I gotta pick some up. There you go. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Ugh, bringing back the 90s. Yeah, Franklin's definitely my favorite character to navigate GTA 5 with, Partly because I don't like Michael DeSantis' family. I think they're all fucking losers. And because Trevor's a raging lunatic that I think is actually... He exaggerates a little too much, and I kind of feel like if he was faced with a real meth dealer, he'd get his ass beaten. He'd end up naked, bruised, bleeding behind a dumpster somewhere kind of thing. Damn, it takes a long time to get over here. Especially since he was way up in the hills. Oh shit. Easy E. Yep. Damn, the guys I grew up with used to listen to a lot of Easy E, NWA, Cypress Hill, a lot of that shit. Alright, let me see. Alright, let me see. Ah, there's Tanya's skank ass.
Tanya, do you ever clean your raggedy bitch ass up?
Fuck you, Lamar. I mean, Franklin or whatever. Everybody on
Exactly what I would have said too.
on Vinewood and shit.
Well, shit, if going Vinewood means I ain't hitting the pipe like 1992, then shit, I'm guilty as charged.
Punk ass.
What?
Bitch ass.
Excuse me?
Look, I'm sorry. Well, where's your love for the hood? JB ain't doing good. He needs help. We need your help, nigga. We gonna lose everything.
All right.
Shit.
What do I gotta do?
Same as before, boo. A little help with the tow truck.
Oh yeah, ECW's pay-per-views were the shit back in the day.
Get yourself together. Your ass done went crazy.
I remember guys on my block ordering ECW pay-per-views, the UFC pay-per-views, hell, even the WCW pay-per-views. Took a while for people to get into the World Wrestling Federation, though.
I ain't so cracked out I don't remember that night behind the burger shot.
Not this again. What, we was like 13?
But you was a man after that night.
Damn, every time with this shit. And nothing even happened.
It's all good, baby. I know that wound ain't healed. That's our truck. You know the drill.
You know, I wish that there were actually more jobs, like the towing jobs, across Los Santos in GTA 5. because I wouldn't mind working different types of jobs like this,
Dispatch,
you know.
what you got?
10-4.
Actually cool.
We got an SUV in a handicapped spot without a sticker at the Lucky Plucker in Little Seoul. Do you copy?
You know I don't copy. I'm an original. Yeah, we got you. JB still sick.
Man, you sure you need me? Cause you look like you know what you doing.
One, I can't... Jesus. I can't drive. And two, this ain't no work for a lady.
Oh, you really fighting the feminist cause there, ain't
Damn,
you,
I miss
Tony?
the
Like your aunt, you mean? I saw her fake jogging the
I
other
miss
day.
the way cars used to collide on GTA 4, because with this tow truck, I would have knocked them
that
out of the
would
way.
get
They would have been
And I got
flying, but in GTA 5, it's like you hit them and they barely
Like hell
move.
you do.
See, that's a little car. It would have been flying through the air.
certificate in cosmology. You never seen my nails.
What, you going into space?
Yeah, going back to the state of gaming, though, I know, Troy, you said earlier that there aren't really any games that are coming out in the near future that you want to spend your money on. I get it, man. I get it. I was thinking the same thing, you know, and I know I criticized GTA 5 or GTA 6 a little bit just because of the state of Rockstar Games. That's probably one of the only games that I'd really want to buy. I actually resubscribed to GameFly, you know, so I could do some game reviews and other shit. But it's like some of these games that I want to play, I'm just like, I want to play them, I just don't want to buy it. And damn, it's like last generation before, any game that I wanted, I would buy it. Even if I couldn't buy it full price, I'd buy it on sale. But anymore, it's like a game has to feel like it's going to be a fun time for me even to want to invest in it, you know? And if it doesn't, you know, I'm sorry. Oh, the developers are going to starve, and I'm sorry, man. Make a fun game. That's it. It's like if you go to a place to eat and the food fucking sucks, are you going to say, oh, that's fine, I know they have to eat, you know, or I know they have to pay the bills? Fuck no. You're going to say, hey, man, I want my money back. This food sucks. I mean, that's just how it is. So that's kind of, you know, my same...
Let's move it out.
It's the same mentality, I guess. That stupid ass shouldn't have left his car parked there. Like, damn, dude. Got your car towed. You know how that is. That shit sucks. Wanted to whoop the tow truck driver's ass. Too bad.
It's not a job for making new friends, is it?
I thought you been into some repo work.
Yeah, that's true. Same shit, but nicer cars.
It's an honest dollar, and there ain't many of those around.
An honest dollar that I ain't seen yet. Man, JB need to get his head straight.
JB's going
Yeah,
through
I
a
never
hard
played the
time.
Lollipop Chainsaw game
A hard
before,
time sitting
so
on
I
his ass
might
smoking crack.
put that on
I gotta
GameFly,
keep
check
his
it
hours
out,
up. Word
and
is
if I like it, I'll
sell
buy it,
business.
but I'm not sure yet.
Good news for the drivers with no papers.
Space Marine 2, I've seen so many people talking about it. I'm actually thinking
I
about
see the problem, but I
picking
just
it
don't
up,
see
but
that as
I
mine.
don't have the money this year, you know? Inflation's out of control, man. You know what? It's like, to give you an example, right? Because I got 3 kids, it's my wife and myself. Every single morning we're eating eggs and stuff, right? A box of eggs in 2019 cost us $9.88. Last year, January, we paid $27 for a box of eggs. Same box of eggs. It's the one you get from Sam's Club. So for people, you know, like, oh, it's not that bad. Motherfucker, are you serious? I could buy 30 to 40% more in 2019 than I do now, and I spent $700 to $800 less. That's why I can't afford to buy a lot of my games right now. That's why, you know, and you look at gas. Gas is 100 to 125% more than it was 4 or 5 years ago. And people can't say, oh, prices go up over time. Motherfucker, yeah, from 2019 to 2055 maybe it would go up this much, and not 4 goddamn years. So hopefully, you know, hopefully things turn out for the better next year. Please, God, because I can't afford inflation to keep fucking skyrocketing. I just can't.
I'll make it up to you, Franklin. You know I will. See you round.
I think a lot of us are ready for the inflation problem to be effectively dealt with. And it's not even about games, man. It's just so we can afford shit in normal life so we can pay bills so we can get caught up. You know, that's what it's all about. Alright, let me see. Anyway, that's it for today's live stream. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I did want to do a short live stream. Again, just because I do enjoy live streaming. I enjoy you guys dropping by in the comments. I might live stream again this weekend. I'm not sure. But if you do share it out on social media, I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, definitely take this opportunity to do so. Troy and Maniac, thank you so much for dropping by my live stream. I greatly appreciate it. To everyone else, if I didn't mention you, I apologize. But I appreciate you checking out my live stream. Also, check out the other videos on my YouTube channel. This is SSG, aka Sergeant Sentinel. Take it easy, gamers. I will see you guys later. Later, multiplays.